And let me do this. Okay. So I'm inviting you to just pay attention to your posture. And let's be a little bit deliberate about posture, just to see if we can help create a posture or invite a posture that is really supportive. So wherever you are, if you are in a seated posture, just take a moment and notice the contact with the chair, with the floor, body to body contact, skin to skin contact. And then the next inquiry is to check and see where the top of your hips are in relationship to your sitting bones. So sometimes it helps to actually put your hands on the outside of your hips, and the sitting bones are just underneath you. So when they're just slightly in front of your sitting bones, then it supports your spine in a way that allows your spine to stack with the least amount of muscle effort. So what we're wanting to do is to create a mechanical way to relax, that we don't need to use muscle effort. And when we bring attention to our spine, sometimes we can notice that there's a very slight elongation we can experience, not from willful effort, but through awareness and presence. And just taking a couple of deep breaths in and out, allowing attention to gather and to settle, to anchor to your body and to your breath. And if you have a different anchor that's a familiar anchor for you, please feel welcome to use that. I'm going to refer to body and breath, even if that may not be the anchor you're choosing. So first, what we want is really to allow our body to be as comfortable, as easeful as possible. And sometimes what can help is just to allow the breath to fill up our limbs, our organs. And with the in-breath, sometimes there can be an uplift, an inspiration, a feeling of renewal that fills us up. And so we just want to notice if there's any impact on the in-breath that we can see on our body. We can feel the lungs moving, the belly moving, but does the mind brighten? Do the tissues brighten? Do we feel a tiny little bit more energy? And if we do, we can notice that. And if we don't, we can notice that. There isn't a right response. You're just present and open to what's happening. And with the out breath, we can allow the old air to release. And notice the contraction of our abdomen, the letting go of the old air, and the invitation to let go of things that no longer serve us. Just this quiet invitation, like opening a door. So breathing here. Breathing in and breathing out. Just feeling the impact on our body as we're sitting. So when our body is settled and we're feeling more comfortable, that is a place that we can begin and cultivate a feeling of friendliness or care or kindness. Before we're feeling settled, it's hard to access that. So I'd like to invite you to imagine that you're on a walk. And as you're walking, there's somebody who's got a really sweet puppy. This adorable, fluffy puppy that's just cute and innocent and playful and totally undefended and very happy to see you. And you don't know the puppy, you haven't met the puppy, but the puppy is not hesitant. And there's just this openness to see this little sweet fluffy puppy. And to engage and to connect and to ask if you can touch the puppy. And the owner's happy and delighted and says yes, of course. And so you're there with this small, innocent little creature that's new to this world, hasn't learned yet many things, and is just delighted with your curiosity and your interest, and is squealing and kissing and happy and fluffy and wiggly. And you engage with this little puppy, this spontaneous engagement. You don't have to think about it, and it's not a big effort. There's just this loving joy to connect, to get to know, and to be present with this sweet little puppy. And so as you're imagining bringing this kind of joyful engagement to the puppy, notice what's happening inside of you. The warmth and the joy and the openness and playfulness, kind of amusement, and how you experience these. And so now I'd like to invite you to imagine one more thing. And you're with somebody who you know really cares deeply about you, really loves you, respects you, is really happy to be with you. And as you imagine them in front of you, and you imagine their warmth exuding, shining, showing in their eyes, in their expression, in the quality of their voice. So deeply delighted to be with you. Now I'd like you to turn and just let yourself feel that kindness, warmth, joy to be with you, to be around you, to be close to you. And notice where you feel it. Notice how you feel it. Notice what the feeling feels like. To let in care and kindness and delight to be with you. And now just allow the image of this other person to fade and connect with the feeling of warmth directly. And let it extend throughout your own body. That feeling of warmth, of friendliness, of care, of kindness. That you bring it into your own body and you let it spread. And so in a way, it's kind of like that same sense of greeting oneself, meeting oneself with a kind of innocence, openness, delight, that you met the puppy. A newness, a joy. But this is with our own body. Our limbs and our muscles and our shape. That we can feel that sense of joy and ease and well-being and friendliness fill our body, touch every part of our body. And we can let it touch our mood, our emotions, and our thoughts and our feelings, so that we brighten with this quality of kindness, of joy, of ease, of well-being. And it brightens all the way through our body, our heart, and our mind. And so we can use the breath to connect with that feeling of metta, of kindness, of friendliness, and let it spread, accentuate. So on the in-breath, it accentuates, it grows stronger. And on the out-breath, it spreads. So more and more of our body, deeper and deeper in our body, deeper and deeper in the moods and the feelings, the thoughts that we have are engulfed and touched by this feeling of kindness, of care, of friendliness for ourselves. Breathing in and letting it accentuate, breathing out and letting it deepen and spread. Until we can see and feel and notice that our body is immersed, awash, swimming in this field of kindness, of care, of friendliness, of positive regard. with joy. And as we fill every part of ourselves, our bones and our bone marrow and our organs and our tissues and our muscles and our ligaments and our blood and our lymph, our nervous system, you can just notice the impact of more and more of ourself filled with joy, with ease, with well-being, with kindness, with friendship, with friendliness. And as we fill, we begin to allow this to kind of spill over. As all of us fills up, it spills over. It spills over into the land right around us and underneath us. It spills into the air that we breathe. It spills into the water that's in the taps and in the streams and creeks and in the ocean. It spills into our loved ones, near and far. It spills into our friends. Near and far. It spills into our acquaintances, near and far. It spills into people we don't know, near and far. And it spreads into all of the different kinds of beings, the animals and the birds and the insects, so that all beings everywhere can have the same experience of care, of kindness, of friendliness. Fill them, wash over them, touch their bodies and their moods and their thoughts if they have thoughts. And as we see ourselves in a world that is suffused with care and kindness, friendliness, ease and joy, that world then supports and makes it easier for us to find and access those feelings for ourselves. And so taking a couple of breaths and knowing that as we share this kindness, then we're part of a world that makes it easier for us to feel kindness. We can see the kindness moving out of us and coming back in, like this energetic torus moving out and coming back in. A circulation of kindness, of friendliness, of goodwill, of safety, of protection. And now we're coming back into feeling our own body, feeling the contact with the chair and the floor, feeling the space that we're in, and knowing that we can connect with these qualities. We can invite loving kindness whenever we turn our attention to doing that. So when I ring the bell, very slowly and in your own time, open your eyes.